So you found weakness, whether painful or not. How do you know if it's local tissue or if it's coming from the spine? But if you're not testing myotomes, how would you know? In today's episode, we're breaking it all down. When it comes to testing strength, there are a number of ways that people are typically instructed on, and myotomes are often overlooked because they fall into this sector of when you go through your full neuro exam, you do your myotomes and it's not a main part of your evaluation. So people might be looking at shoulder abduction strength, or they could be calling it the test of middle deltoid strength. Alternatively, you could be looking at C5 myotome strength. So let's dig into that, what the variations are, and how you can actually look at myotomes and use those to be helpful during an evaluation.
Yeah, so like Caitlin was saying, people don't typically have myotomes on their radar when they're looking at any type of muscle testing because they think they're dealing with a shoulder, or they think they're in the lower extremity, they're dealing with a quad or a calf.
They think it's irrelevant.
Yeah, it's just not something that is on their list of differentials because maybe they've done range of motion of the spine and didn't reproduce symptoms, so they've just cleared the spine. Which, by the way, if that's the way you're clearing the spine, you might as well do nothing at all at that point. If we were to look at the abduction, right, that Caitlin was talking about, if you go out here, like one, I don't like to test this for a myotome because it loads the neck and it's very provocative. And if someone has pain with loading the neck and we do this, hold it there, that's probably going to increase their pain. But let's say we find weakness on one side, how do you know if that's muscular or if that is from a neurological innervation standpoint? We have to be able to assess all of the myotomes and look for the patterns, right? So let's review how to actually address or assess myotomes here. So go ahead and have a seat for me. If we're looking at myotomes, even if you think it's a shoulder eval, even if you think it's a lateral epicondylitis or a wrist thing, it really doesn't matter. Anything, right, that's happening in the pec, in the rotator cuff, in the interscapulars, all the way down the arm, as far as pain or weakness, that can all be generated from the cervical spine. So we definitely cannot overlook this. So if we want to, look at the myotomes, we'll start off at C5 because that's the most common area. It's very rare to have things above C5 get irritated. So if we just go into an external rotation here, right? We could look at abduction, like we were saying earlier, right? But that's going to create a change in the joint position for the glenohumeral joint, which can cause some pain. It's also going to turn the traps on, which is going to load the neck and cause a lot of pain. So a better choice is external rotation here. And all you're going to do, Caitlin, is you're going to start by pressing out gently against me. And if that doesn't hurt, then you can slowly press as hard as you can. And then I'm going to see if I can overpower you. I get to win though. I get to cheat and use more, bigger muscles. And you don't. Cool?
Yeah.
All right, so here I'm going to hold on to her wrist. I don't hold on to her hands because if there's anything wrong on the wrist, then they can have some false information. So we're going to hold on to the wrist. My elbows go out so I can use my pecs, which hopefully are stronger than her external rotators. And we're going to say, hey, go ahead and push out gently. And if there's no pain there, go ahead and push out as hard as you can. And then harder, harder, harder. So she comes out with max strength, and then I slowly start to overpower her, right? And it's symmetrical. But you won't pick up on a weakness there unless it is significantly weak. With the neurological weakness, though, fatigue plays a factor. Might start out strong, and then it fatigues out really fast. So we're always testing these things at least 3 times. So it looks like this. Ready? Go ahead and push out as hard as you can. Any pain with that? No? Good. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Good. And again, ready? Go ahead and push out as hard as you can. Push, 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 push. And then again, one more time. Go ahead and push, 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 push. Good. Right? No pain, right?
Nope.
And what we're doing there is a break test, not a make test. A lot of times when people do manual muscle testing, they actually don't even get information about how strong the muscle is because they do this. Hey, go ahead and push out hard, push out, push, 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 push. And then like, you have no idea how much strength is left or if there's symmetrical differences because you haven't taken that muscle beyond its ability to hold that position. So you have to break them, not make the position, but break it. So she could be pushing here really, really hard, push, 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 push. And then it could be if I push a little extra, this side goes in and this side doesn't, right? And then we're gonna get that clear picture. The difference there, pretty much all of them are like that, except for the hamstrings and the biceps. Because with that, we're gonna be looking for an increase in strength, a sudden increase. So that's C5. If we wanna look at C6, we're gonna hold hands like we're arm wrestling here. And also, by the way, I would have her take all of these things off at the very beginning. With a real patient, I wouldn't have even tested her external rotation. So here, we're gonna hold hands like we're arm wrestling. And you're gonna try to keep your hand to your shoulder. And I'm gonna compress this here, so I know we're in maximal flexion, right? It also puts her in a shortened state where she's actually weaker, so I can easily start to overpower. And a lot of people are gonna do like what Caitlin just tried to do and drop their elbow back to get a mechanical advantage, which does give them an advantage because as you're pulling this way, right, now we need to change how we're pulling to be around the angle, the axis of her elbow, and that's no bueno, right? We don't want to be having to pull down this way. So here, elbows right by the side, we're gonna fully compress. I'm pulling from the back, pushing from the front. I'm gonna say hold it there. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna slide around to the front, my elbow straight, and I'm gonna lean back slowly and bend my knee so it's my body weight versus her bicep. And here, you feel how it gets strong there? Mm-hmm. So again, hold it again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Easy, easy, easy. All of a sudden, it gets strong there. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Good. Now you want to test slowly, because if you test too fast, you'll blow right past it. You're going to miss all kinds of things. Here's what happens if I test too fast. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Oh, come on, no, come on, hold it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it, hold it, hold it. I just blow past the increase in strength, and I actually don't get any good information. So let's compare this side over here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Good. And again, relax here, relax down there. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Good. One more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good. All right. Feels pretty similar to side to side, but I could again blow past it. So that is C6 and C7. We can look at the triceps here, where we are going to now have her pull out here. Actually, let me go back to the biceps real quick. We don't want to just test mid-range here, so hold here, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. She's so strong there. It takes so much effort for me to break her. And then what's going to end up happening is go ahead and hold it there. Actually, maybe test this side. What's going to end up happening is your elbow's going to end up shooting back. Ready? Hold it, hold it, hold it, right? So then I have to like try to stabilize and get up here. And it's like, it's so much harder. And with Caitlin, I can break her, but some of the people that we treat, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say they could probably support my body weight with their biceps, which is quite impressive, but also factual. So here, for the tricep, for C7, elbow comes in front a little bit. And now we don't want to be right at the end range because we're not going to, it's just not enough motion. So we do want her to be a little bit more towards that mid-range. Not exactly 90 degrees, but maybe a little bit less there. And we're gonna have her go ahead and push down into my hand, but I'm not gonna fight her with my arm. I'm gonna get my legs squared away off to the side, bend my knee and my hip, and I'm gonna use my leg drive to break her here while I stabilize with this. So go ahead and push down. If it doesn't hurt, push as hard as you can. Push down, push, 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 and then I start overpowering her. Push, push, push. Slowly. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Push, push, push. Good. And then one more time. Push, push hard. Push, push, push. Good. And let's see this other side here. Out in front a little bit. And hold there. Go ahead and push down. Push, push, push. Good. Let's change the angle a little bit. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Push, push, push hard. Push, 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 push. All right. So we can see side to side if there's differences. And you have to, again, go slow so you can actually tell. If you sneak attack or go really fast, you're not going to get any information about how much effort they're exerting or how much they're able to resist. So we got that through C7, and then we got C8, which you could look at the abductor of the digiti minimi, the little finger abductor. You can also look at finger flexion, but that I would want to do with dynamometer. It's hard. So you could just open up and don't let me pull your pinky fingers together, right? And I'll just test with different leverage points here. So your job is to just keep your fingers spread wide. Don't let me pull in here. Good, don't let me pull in here. Keep them out, keep them out, keep them out, keep them out, keep them out. And if one pinky comes in versus the other, then we know we've got some weakness there. And you could also test the finger flexion, right, grip strength, really. But again, that's something I want to use a dynamometer with, and then that requires so much more like bringing things out and setting up that I just don't need. All right, so T1 is going to be finger adduction. So I'm going to have you open up, and I'm going to put my fingers in just past her knuckles, and you're going to keep your fingers straight and squeeze them, right? Try to squeeze them together, and I'm just going to try to pull my hands out until they come out. And what you'll find is if there's weakness there, one person or one side will come right out and the other side will be stuck. So you can test it multiple times and it'll just this. You'll just get this, right? But if it's pretty symmetrical, then you can just stay there. But if you look at what Caitlin was doing here, since I was doing it for so long, you'll see she starts to compensate by using like her lumbricals and different muscles in there. So you want to make sure that the fingers stay straight and she's not flexing anywhere along the chain. All right, so if you're testing and you get pain with bicep or tricep, right? You can get big co-contractions of the upper traps as they're stabilizing for those things because there's a lot of force, especially if they're very acute, very irritable. So then we want to look at testing those maybe distally. So a C7 could be looking at finger extension here. So we could just stand next to her and I make a fulcrum on the inside of her knuckles here. So all you're gonna do is put a little bit of pressure down into my fingers there like that, right? So a little gentle pressure down, and then keep your fingers up like this. So that way she's not using her wrist extensors, fingers together for me. And then don't let me push these down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, hold it, hold it, hold it, right? You can use one finger, two fingers. You can use the heel of your palm. Ready? 1, 2, 3, push, 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 push. I usually will start off using the heel of my palm. And then if somebody's really weak, just to make the point, I'll say, hey, hold here, and don't be pushing. They'll see how much I struggle with one finger to push it down. And I'll go to the weak side and push it down pretty easily with one finger. All right, so let's see the other side here. Go ahead and push down on my fingers here. Fingers straight like this, knuckles together, and then don't let me push you down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Good, and again, ready? 1, 2, 3. Good, one more time. 1, 2, 3. That sound is me helping, and you should help your patients out too. It's just funny. Yeah, I can't not make sound effects. I don't know why. So go ahead and scoot back. We're gonna look at C6 here. All right, so now we've got something to support her. We've had her scoot back, and C6 is going to be wrist extension at the wrist here. So we want to make sure that we've got something that allows us to be supported so I can brace her arm down into this and not have any elbow action, shoulder action going on. So go ahead, wrist up, and then all I'm going to do is get my elbow straight. I'm going to put my body weight into my stabilizing arm, which is at the end of her forearm. This hand goes right down under the wrist, shoulder over my wrist, my shoulder over my wrist, and then hold it there. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to apply pressure by just bending my knees. So now it's her wrist extension versus my body weight. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Good. And then one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good. Because some people have really strong wrists. You need to be able to break everybody, not just most people. So here, one more time. And lift up. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it, hold it, hold it. 1, 2, 3. Good. One more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good. And you'll see that I had a poor position. Elbow was too straight, and things kind of moved up the chain, so just moved her back into a better position. You've got to be aware of those types of things. So if you guys find weakness in the biceps and or pain, find weakness and or pain in the triceps with shoulder abduction, external rotation, right? Any of these things, you need to be thinking, I wonder if that's from a myotome. How do you know? Look for the patterns, right? If someone's got a weak bicep, right, that can be C5 or C6. We think of it as more C6, but it does have a little bit of C5. So if somebody has weakness in their external rotators, right, C5, and then it's a bigger weakness, and then they have a little bit of weakness in that bicep, but their wrist extension is strong, so we've got C5, and then we've got C6 with a little bit of C5, and then we've got mostly C6. We can then look at that combination and say, probably has a little C5 radicular symptoms. And then we could look at the reflexes. And then if we've got reflex changes and strength changes in that distribution, then now we've started to have a cluster of findings that says, hey, maybe this is myotomal, right? Maybe this is neurological. And then we can have somebody lay down too. A great test, if you find weakness somewhere, is just to have them lay down, so we're taking the loading off of that cervical spine. And then you redo the test once they're laying down. Hold here for me, go ahead and push out, push as hard as you can, and now all of a sudden it's strong, even if it's still painful. If it's stronger, that can't suddenly be a stronger muscle. The only difference is you've taken the weight off of their neck. You've taken the loading from their head off of their neck. You can do the same thing with biceps, with triceps, right? With any of those tests. And then if you're not sure, you can have them sit up again and retest. Or they're like, whoa, that's crazy. And then you have them sit up and you retest, and all of a sudden it's weak again. What changes? That absolutely cannot be a local tissue. But how many of those do you think you've potentially missed? Right? Like, that is the key question here. If you have somebody who you're treating for something that you think is a local tissue issue, that's funny to say, that is a local tissue problem, and they're getting kind of better, but they always have this thing or never fully recovers, you're probably missing something, and this is probably it.
If you learned anything in this episode, we have an entire 12-week mentorship program that's led by Roger, who's done a residency and not one, but 2 fellowships. So be sure to just get on a call with us and see where the gaps in your clinical skill set are, so that we can put together a plan that's gonna help you become the performance rehab authority in your area. If you need help finding out how to book a call, the link is in the description box below.